Hi guys, I have another Copic coloring and card tutorial for you today, and it is a Christmas fairy Twinklefly. Back when, in the beginning of November, when the release for these fairies was, we had an Instagram blog hop. And that Instagram blog hop, I featured actually another one of these fairies. And I had several people ask me, why didn't you make a video on that fairy? Well, I didn't think about it. This fairy is actually printed to fit half an A4. So she's pretty big. She's, I think she's 6 inches high or something like that. So she's a very big fairy. So when I colored the first fairy, I kind of just colored her. But as there were so many people asking for tutorials and asking for me to make a video coloring one of the fairies, I thought, hell, I want to do that. So here's a fairy. Also, they wanted me to show the platinum blonde hair that I had on that fairy. So she's having platinum blonde hair too, just a little bit darker because I'm adding a little bit more E43 to that hair. Also, you will have noticed that I have added some skin color to a part that isn't supposed to have skin color. Well, I realized that, but instead of kind of throwing away the image, as I knew I wanted her arms, those kind of fingerless gloves thingies, to be red, deep red, I didn't really worry about the E04 that I colored it in because I'm gonna put shadows there anyway, so that wasn't a problem. And I'm using the same reds on her lips to kind of tie in, and because I'm starting to kind of like people that have those bold, big red lips. It looks beautiful. I can't pull it off, but everyone else looks really, really beautiful. When it comes to the hair, it's just simple following the strands. I kind of thinking it like most of these strands I just do letting it go in the middle, or having two ways, one going on one side of the strand and one going on the other, and then I try to match up from the other direction of this image or of the hair strand. I'm trying to match it up so they go like a zipper. So they go like a zipper together to get that kind of hair look like the strands and the glimmer in the hair and stuff. Yeah. And as you saw there, I actually taped down this image extra. My printer have a tendency to make these papers be a little bit curly, so they will kind of want to pick up from the mat that I'm coloring on. So I'm just taping it down. It makes it much easier for me to do this, to tape it down in that way. Also, after making so many videos this way, I'm actually starting to get used to coloring images taped down. So I do that with most of my images today. It's very seldom I turn them around. When I started, I did turn them around a lot, and I can see, if I didn't make videos for you, I would probably still be doing it, because it's a way. Usually you have a way of when you're coloring, that you will get it easier to fill, easier to get finer lines in one direction, so either from you or towards you. I do have one of those directions that is better for me, but I have learned to go in both directions due to having the images taped down, because the reason why I started it is because I prefer to see people coloring images that stay still, because then I can kind of see how they do it easier. So that's I chose to do that. Now I'm doing the reds on her skirt, and I'm just following the lines. One little thing is that I'm making kind of a secondary light source onto the clothes. I also did that on her legs, where you have the first light source is coming from the upper left corner down on her, while the secondary light source, or the reflecting light from the snow, so it kind of shines from the lower right corner, and it's much weaker than the light that comes from the upper corner. It's just reflected, and reflected light gets to become a little bit less because you don't reflect all of the light. And the way one of the reasons why I choose to do it on this character is because it makes her look more dimensional, but also underneath her bosom, if you can, there is a double shadow. One that is the shadow that is the rounded shadows from her breast, and the other one is from the drop shadow that comes from her breast. And you have I separated them to make you see the dimension, sort of. It also helps a lot with her legs and her shoes to make them feel more rounded. I love using that technique, but it works best for more realistic characters, at least for me. But that is also one different from different colorists and creators. And then I'm cutting her out. And yes, I have kept in all of the cutting, even though it's actually quite a long clip, because it took me a little while. The cutting is made very slowly. I see it more like a therapeutic thing when I cut, but I do have a couple of tips to give you to get a good cutting line, especially when you have a big image with a lot of long tiny strands of hair, for example. And that is move your paper, cut slowly, but also when you are cutting, try to cut out the pieces that have more grounded pieces first. So I should have cut over her head first, like from here. There is where I should have started, and then just going around the whole piece, because it's easier to hold on to her after cutting, to trying to hold on to her instead of those strands of hair. And then I'm just using my Martha Stewart knife, which I really love because it actually lies in my hand very good, and therefore I have more control over my cutting. And the blades, I've heard that you can get them at like Home Depot. You can get a lot of blades for like nothing. I haven't seen those kind of blades here in Sweden, but I did get a whole bunch with the cutter. Now I'm gonna make the card. It is 6 1/4 by 7 3/4. So I only have 6 by 6 pattern papers. So I just cut out, just at the top of the first paper, I cut out that slope, and then I kind of measuring it to fit so that the green paper is at least as big, so it fits under that little slope, and together measuring 7 1/2, because I have a little bit wider of a border as it is such a big card. So I have a 1/8 of an inch instead of a 1/6 of an inch border. Then I'm using my Merry Everything stamp set by Simon Says Stamp. This is a Christmas stamp from 2 or 3 years ago. I'm not sure which. So it's pretty old stamp, but I really like it. And I am heat embossing that with some liquid platinum embossing powder. And I really like how it actually really much shows up on this dark cardstock without overtaking the whole cardstock. So the cardstock is some slate cardstock, also by Simon's Stamp. And I'm doing a little simple flag end, just one little cut up in the middle and then 2 small cuts to the top of that cut. Makes it quite an easy and quick flag. So I start with the green paper, and because it's going to be on the behind that slope, but also it makes it easier to kind of line up the textured paper. I kind of like the combination of these papers, not being like the bright white, which the card that I made for the other fairy, it had a bright white snowy slopes. And then I have put all of these foam tapes on the back side, and I kind of wanted you to see the back side because I do put foam tape on all of those little strands of hair, because that will keep them in an even layer, and you will have that little natural shadow you get from putting it on foam tapes will be equal all around the image, and it will look pretty good. So yeah, and that's almost the card, but first I've sped this up because this took ages. I am filling in the whole wings with stardust glitter glue, and I can say I think I used up half of a bottle, but I need to kind of use more of my stickles, so it's okay to use up half of a bottle filling those wings in. Small tips: when you use glitter glue this way, you can actually move it around with your nozzle, so you don't have to have it really thick. Instead, just move it around with your nozzle, push them out, move it around, push them out, move it around. It works great. Then you have glitter glue all over your wings there. Then I'm using some liquid pearls, which is, I think it's just gold, and I'm covering that fine shadowing I made of that, but I thought it would be kind of cool with a little pearl there. And then as a finishing touch, I'm using some Christmas glitter on top of the berries, and I'm sorry that that is a little bit out of frame, but I'm just making small berries out of the glitter glue. And that was the card for today. I hope you liked it. If you do, please thumbs it up. It means a lot to me. If you have any questions, just comment down below, and down below is all of the materials that I've used today listed. And here are 2 annotations of 2 other videos in my Happy Holiday series. Happy holidays, everyone!